Hello, YouTube. We are back with Reading Reddit, and this story is an interesting one. It's about LGBT and coming out as transgender. So if those topics are sensitive to you, please check out any of my other playlists, and we will get started. And there is an update with it as well. So here we go. The first story is titled, "Am I the asshole for advising against my friend coming out?" I know the title sounds bad, but hear me out. Also, I apologize for any incorrect terminology related to the topic. So, I, female 23, have Sam, same age, who is a female to male transgender individual. However, I am one of very few people who know this, and he generally still presents as female. This is because his family, mom, dad, grandfather, are all, quite frankly, horrible homophobes. Seriously, I've been to their house 3 times since Sam and I met in middle school, and each time, one of them have launched into some hateful rant completely unprompted. Now, here is where it gets complicated. Horrible as he might be, Sam's grandfather is very wealthy, and Sam is set to inherit 2.5 million when he dies, which will probably be soon due to the man's rather serious health conditions. Sam has seen the will and knows this for a fact, but he also knows he'll be disowned if he came out as transgender to his family. Because of this, Sam has stayed in the closet and continues to present as female, though he took to cutting his hair shorter and dressing more androgynously in college for then sake of staying in good standing with his grandfather. Sam has been very open about his plan to fully come out and deal with the consequences after he had the money. But today, at 5:30 in the morning, Sam called and woke me up to tell me that he was considering coming out to his family soon, and he thought it would be dishonest to continue with the lie for the money money, but asked my advice. Or lie for money, yes. I was shocked, but honestly told him that it was a bad idea. I explained that the 2.5 mil would allow Sam to finally live his dream life, pay off student debts, get SRS, maybe get a house. Then I pointed out that Sam would almost certainly be thrown out of his house for doing so. He still lives with his parents for complicated reasons, and he wouldn't be able to stay with me if that happened because, on top of living in a 1 bedroom apartment, I babysit my 6 year old immunocompromised younger brother twice a week, and I cannot risk cross contamination from Sam, who is an essential worker. I wasn't shy about making my opinion known that his family wasn't worthy of honesty extremely clear. Anyway, after I was done doing all this, Sam just burst into tears, and before hanging up, I was confused, or he burst into tears before hanging up. I was confused, but it was also 5:45, so I just rolled over and went back to bed. Later in the morning, I woke up to a bunch of text messages from Sam saying I was a bad friend, a horrible person, and claiming I'm homophobic, transphobic. Now, I could not give a damn about a person's sexual orientation or gender identity if you pay me. But I'm being simply pragmatic, and Sam knows this, so it really hurt to read those text messages. I didn't respond at first and decided to talk it over with my mother, who is aware of Sam's situation. Anyway, am I the asshole? And the here is a comment on the it's a conversation between two people, or three. My fickle mind says another post where someone is encouraging someone to live a lie so that they might get money someday. This mindset that possibly money is more important than being comfortable in your own skin disgusts me. You're the asshole. And then Sweet Vixen, the OP, comes in and says, living in poverty ain't all that comfortable either. And then the reply from my fickle mind says, not having millions of dollars doesn't equal poverty. And that stress is not in any way equal to the stress of being forced to live a lie. Money doesn't equal security. The hell it doesn't. Deleted says, this it's pretty sound advice. The amount of money would be life changing for Sam, and Sam reached out specifically to get OP's advice and perspective on it. The situation is pretty binary. He can come out or he can remain closeted until he receives his inheritance. If only one answer is acceptable when he has asked for advice on which one to do, that's not on OP and isn't the point of asking for advice. And then pretty much the fickle mind pretty much says hiding yourself isn't worth money, and then deleted says, look, It's not advisable to transition until you're in a safe place to do so. Coming out can be very dangerous, especially when you are dependent on someone else. And if inheritance were a factor, he should remain closeted because they already know that it's not going to go well. And then Mama Bear is our last comment on this first post, saying, "Not the asshole. It is. I think what you said is in his best interest. 2.5 mil can give a person a wonderful future, and it's not worth losing that chance for a family who doesn't appreciate and love him the way he." All right, now we are moving to the update, and it is as follows. Am I the asshole for telling my former friend he was particularly responsible for his bad life situation, and I don't feel bad for him? Here we go. A few years ago, I, 25 female, so it was 2 years ago, posted a story about my former friend, Sam, female to male transgender, 25. Sam had the misfortune to be born into an incredibly bigoted but rich family, and Sam stood a lot to inherit from his grandfather. Understandably, both of these things factored into Sam's decision not to come out to his family, at least not until his grandpa died and he got his inheritance. That was until 2 years ago when he called me very early in the morning to say that he'd been thinking about coming out to his parents and asked what I thought. I told him it was a bad idea due to a combination of him definitely getting written out of the will, getting kicked out of his parents' house, and cut off altogether money, health care, etc., not having any savings or another place to stay. Well, Sam didn't like that. He accused me of being phobic and a bad friend, amongst other things. A few more blow-ups later, which, along with my little sister, helped me realize that my friendship with Sam was unhealthily one-sided. It led to me making the difficult decision to cut Sam out of my life. I sent him one final email saying I was sorry about the fight, that I wished him well in whatever he chose to do, but I also felt neither of us was getting much good out of our friendship. Then I blocked him and forced myself to push Sam out of my mind. It was hard. I was worried about Sam but was able to move on with my life. I spent these last 2 years working on myself, and it paid off. I climbed the ladder closer to my dream job, am in the best shape of my life, and, most importantly, met my wonderful fiancé. Eventually, I managed to mostly forget about Sam. That brings us to yesterday. I was running errands when I stopped for coffee. When I was waiting for my drink, I heard someone call my name. It was Sam, and he looked rough, to the point that I didn't recognize him at first. Anyway, Sam decided to join me. I awkwardly asked him how he'd been, and Sam launched into this long rant about how hard his life became after he came out to his parents. He got kicked out and cut off by his family, and since he didn't have enough savings to rent anywhere, Sam ended up having to couch surf for the past 2 years. And apparently, or losing lots of friends when they got tired of him. Sam apparently got so depressed with everything that he stopped going to work and was finally fired about 6 months ago. When he was finally done, I honestly told Sam that I was sorry for everything he went through. He asked me if that was it, and another blow-up happened. Sam accused me of abandoning him when he needed my help. I said I did offer him help back then, but it wasn't the help Sam liked. Then I told Sam that everything that happened to him was something I warned him about and that I didn't feel much sympathy for him because of that. He knew the risks, still came out, so he couldn't gripe about the consequences. I left after that, and everyone who knows what happened is split on my response. Am I the asshole? So now we've got 3 relevant comments here, and the first one starts off by Relevant Economy saying, "Not the asshole. You didn't cause any of that to happen to Sam. He asked your opinion and you provided it. He blew up. Then he seems to have cornered you looking for an apology and once again blew up when you didn't provide his desired response." Sailor Angel says, not that just he was blaming OP, but then when she expresses sympathy for all that happened, he blows up at her for not being there for after he first blew up at her. Nobody needs a person in their life who, when asked for advice, gets mad at the advice with rage and insults. OP did the right thing by cutting Sam out of her life if this is how he responds to anyone doing anything or saying anything other than exactly what he wants, not the asshole. And our last comment here is not the asshole. You gave him good advice on how to compromise for a shit situation. He chose to go off on you, take a principled stand he knew he would suffer for, and fail to prepare for the inevitable consequences he should have foreseen himself, and moreover, was explicitly warned of. He could have waited a few more weeks, pocketed a fortune, and given the bigots the finger the day after the check cleared. Sam is a hot headed fool who blames others for the hole he dug. Anyone saying you're the a-hole needs to step up and offer Sam free accommodation. So there it is. Both stories here, I personally, if I knew someone like that, I would definitely say, you wait, you get that FU money, and go ahead and get the, you better get your money, wait for that money, and once you get that money, you can cut off your parents and live your trans life to the fullest. That $2.5 million, get you some rental properties and all that, so you can have some passive income. Study, stay in school, get yourself, situated or whatever. But it really does seem like Sam is not a really good person here, because he seems to just blow up at people who don't give him his desired answer, and that already tells me that he is not a great person, even though all of this happened to him. And people can be crappy people and still be a member of a marginalized community. So, thank you so much for joining me for Reading Reddit. I hope you enjoyed this one, and you have a wonderful day. See you soon.